Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. I'm Byron Lazine. I'm here with Bryan Koci, who actually, it's an interesting story because I was texting Kyle and he's like, oh, I've actually got somebody way better than me. and so Bryan is actually way better looking. So I'm hoping Kyle actually sees this.
He won't.
And that's very true, probably. And Bryan is the media and marketing manager of the Whissel team. So if you're familiar with Kyle Whissel, you can put those pieces together. So Bryan, appreciate you making the trip over here to, what is this, Coronado? Is that how I pronounce this?
Yeah, Coronado.
Coronado.
How else would you pronounce it?
I have no idea. I've never been here. So I've been to San Diego, but not, this is part of San Diego,
correct?
Right? All right,
yeah.
Cool. Why don't you give people your background, when you started with Kyle, and kind of what you guys are doing to produce video content consistently. Start with your background.
Yeah, so I started in January of 2015 as when I started working with Kyle. Before that, I was doing weddings and portrait, just photography. I was a community manager for an online voice over IP phone company, basically Google Voice type thing, which is actually, that is actually coming into real handy as we're building it out more Facebook groups. But I was doing that, and a friend of mine who I used to work with Best Buy at, he said, hey, my boss is looking for something like this. And I said, yeah, I want to do that. So I met with Kyle, and with zero video experience. I did one video a year for my dad. He decked his house out in Halloween. Horrible videos 5 years ago. I had one real estate shoot I've done. I shot a retirement community, and I said, look, this is what I've done. It wasn't great. It was better than cell phone, right? But it wasn't great. And so I went with Kyle, and he said, cool, we want to do photos, we want to do videos, we want to do green screens, we want to do drone. And I said, cool, I do people photos. I haven't done video, basically. No green screen. And honestly, I was planning not to do green screen. Right. He's like, we'll do green screen. I go,
do you do green screen?
We do. We actually have my office is, we have 1.5 walls painted for green screen. So
great.
Because I've seen a lot of really bad green screen.
I've seen some terrible.
And I've
been involved in some bad green screen back in the day. I hope nobody can find those.
I'm gonna find it now. I'm gonna post. No, I won't, because then you'll find my stuff. But I had no intentions of doing green screen until one day I showed up and he goes, "Here's your green screen kit," and I go, "Damn it."
Yeah, we're doing it.
Okay, I guess we're doing it. And so I met with him.
Not to divert too much, but what are you using green screen for right now?
So we do it for a lot of our quick tips. So I get Kyle in the office about once a month in my office. He's obviously working in the office. But we do an agent, a tip for buyers, tip for sellers, tip for agents. We're building our Facebook group that's working on building relationships with agents, a market update, and then sometimes a did you know kind of thing about our brokerage.
Cool. All right. So there was one show you did 100 episodes.
Yeah.
What's that show? And then the one that I think maybe a lot of people even listening to this podcast might know is East County Eats.
Yep.
Give us the first show, why you stopped at 100, and then the transition over to East County Eats.
Yeah. So we did Santee Saturdays, did 100 episodes. Like I said, I got hired in January. We started in April. We did 100 episodes, basically featuring businesses of all types around our zip code where now we have an office. Kyle and I both live in Santee. So we interviewed literally everyone from restaurants to the CPA to the parks and rec. Like we did everything.
How long were those videos approximately?
About 5 minutes.
5-minute videos.
Yeah. I wanted to kind of make sure we had enough value given to the guests.
I don't remember this show at all. Do you remember that one, Tom? The Santee Saturdays?
He's not listening.
No?
That's fine.
He's not listening.
I was listening.
I remember. I know East County Eats. I've watched a bunch of them.
Yeah, because those got popular.
Yeah.
I remember. I mean, it's like everyone's first videos. You talk about it, you start it, and then
it catches fire.
And you get better with the second one.
So were these raw? Were these pretty raw, or because East County Eats is like it's pretty good production,
so
inside production.
They were pretty good. Obviously, it took a while to kind of find our way. Kyle find his way. We did basically everything static. For me, I was uncomfortable kind of directing it in terms of, hey, we need you to do this, hey, we need you to do this, which is one thing that we're trying to help teach other people as we go forward. It used to be, okay, we'll just, we'd film a restaurant. I'd have 2 cameras on tripods. It would be very static. We only had 2 microphones, and then we had 3 people sometimes, which now we go, okay, no more 3 people, only 2 people during the interview. But it was very static, not very exciting. And then And then I'd be like, all right, make whatever you're going to make. And I'd kind of film some stuff. There's times I literally had to buy a pizza so I can film them making a pizza because I was uncomfortable with it, right? So it went well. It just wasn't super visually appealing. So then we switched to East County Eats. We wanted to do kind of more of a diners, drive-ins, and dives type vibe. And then we switched from doing 2 tripods to doing a gimbal. And so we'd record the whole thing, with our gimbal. And then I would say, okay, you have to make us 3 dishes. We're not paying for it. And I thought they were going to freak out. And they're like, okay, sure. Okay. Well, actually, you have to make us 4 dishes. 1, you have to make us twice. Fine. You also have to give us gift cards that we can raffle off. And they're like, how many? I'm like, this is easy.
Especially once they probably saw the first 2 or 3 or
Exactly.
whatever, right?
And how we started our first one, because, again, Kyle's like, I want to do this thing. And I'm like, cool. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know what we're going to run into. So we actually reached out to our lender and said, hey, we kind of want to do this thing. Can we interview you and try it out? And so we started that way, and we used that to show for our first person. We used our first person to show to our second person. Then after that, we kind of just built up a library of this is what it looks like. These are the questions we ask. And everyone's been like, all right, cool.
And so you got 70 episodes out of East County Eats? Is that correct?
So we did 100 of Santee Saturdays. We ran out of Santee businesses. We literally were like, okay, maybe we'll interview this guy who makes clocks out of his garage. We just ran out of stuff, right?
Did you only choose businesses that you knew were reputable, or were you willing to just kind of take on anybody, make the content about them on the Santee Saturdays?
Yeah, that's a good question. We didn't interview anyone that we knew were shady, right? We did a little research on them, and a lot of how we built out that list is we were really involved in our chamber. And so we said, hey, who should we do? And we asked our chamber, said, who just signed up? That way we can say, hey, the chamber told us about you. It builds value for the chamber. That's a
smart hack right there, because there are a lot of agents, listening or watching. There are a ton of chambers throughout the country that are struggling not only for content but for people to connect to their new chamber members. So I love that hack.
Yeah, so it was great for that because we built that relationship with the chamber, and then it was an easy in with the business because they trust the chamber, they trust us. And if you're not involved with your chamber, get involved with your chamber. It's funny, we look at real estate advertising and people I know are used to Zillow spend and all this sort of stuff, but then you look at chamber prices, and depending on San Francisco is going to be a little different than Santee. I understand this. But you look at chamber pricing for full page ads and magazines. Ours puts out a magazine every quarter, and we have the front or back cover every time. And it's incredibly inexpensive. So it's great because you can build relationships with people in your community, but also it's super cheap.
And a lot of these chambers have big email lists. So if your content now gets distributed on the email list, you guys can figure that out. Your views are going to go up.
And that's exactly what we did. We said, hey, I know you're always looking for content. We'll just give you our videos. We'll let you share it so that way you have content. And they're like, thanks, guys.
Yes.
And so, again, it worked for both of us. It worked for us because we got more viewership. It worked for the chamber because they had more content. And it worked for our guest who actually had a distribution strategy. So, yeah.
All right, so East County Eats was obviously highly popular. The Facebook group went to what?
So we have a Facebook page of 20,000.
20,000.
Yeah.
That's very good.
Yeah.
For that type of content. And I'm assuming the Whissel group overall, Whissel Realty, got a ton of business out of East County Eats.
So
or is it
it's a big branding play.
Yeah.
So the best, and I want to make sure we say this because I hate when people say, well, I did one video and I didn't get 8 come list me calls. Tom's over here laughing because that's not how it happens. We know this. You're obviously doing the show, and you're probably not getting the first one you did. You're like, why am I not getting referrals every day, right?
Exactly.
It doesn't happen like that. It's a big branding play. We all know the phrase, they have to know you, like you, and trust you. It's really cool once we do the show, Kyle does an open house, and he's immediately in rapport, right? They go, oh, I saw you on that one show. Oh, you featured my favorite restaurant. And a lot of these restaurant owners are connected, right? So they go, oh, yeah, that's my cousin's restaurant. Or, oh, my aunt is a server there. So they obviously already know you and like you. And it's also great because we can use those restaurants to cater things like our open houses. So again, continuing to build relationship with those restaurant owners. So did we get business from it directly? Absolutely. Kyle got his biggest listing he's ever received from literally we videoed the retirement community. And the owner said, hey, I like that video. We didn't even interview the owner. We interviewed the marketing people, and he goes, oh, I like that video. Can you list my house? $4 million listing. So we've had that. Absolutely. We've had
restaurant owners probably sending
Absolutely.
business. Yeah, that's how it works.
and we had, I like when I photograph people's houses, I say, hey, why did you choose so-and-so? And they go, oh, well, if we were going to sell in Santee, we had to do the people that know everything about Santee. So we obviously extrapolated that to East County as well.
That's smart. So smart. So what's on the horizon now? What's the new show? Tell us about that.
So yeah, we did 70 episodes of East County Eats. Super popular. We had a couple hit over 100,000. We had views. We had one hit over 3.5 or 3.4 million right now.
Wow.
Which was all organic. Which, please don't ask me the secret, because if I knew the secret, I would be putting it out
doing
every
it more
week.
and more and more.
So I don't know that yet. I think it was a mix of a lot of things. But now we're transitioning into kind of two things. We've changed the name of the show to Everything East County. We're focusing on not just, so week 1 of the month is a restaurant. Week 2 and 4 are events, what's coming up. Just, hey, they're having a cornhole tournament. They're doing this. They're doing this. We usually find about 5 or 6 events. And then week 3, we're doing kind of a did you know, we're connecting with the local historical societies. We did one in La Mesa. Next, we're doing in Lakeside, just about, hey, did you know that they used to have a train station here, or that these are the hidden stairs, what they are, how they became to be.
And here's another hidden hack from Bryan, if you're listening closely. Like, have your schedule set and then just duplicate it over and over and over again, right? Like,
you gotta systematize it.
Yeah, you're not thinking month to month like, oh, what type of content should we produce this month for Everything East County? They've got a system, week 1, 2, 3, and 4, and next month they're going to do the same thing. They're going to have new people on there. It's going to be super engaging, but it's going to follow the same format.
And that's kind of twofold. One, it's easier for us, right? When it's hard to reinvent the wheel each time. Again, this is our third series, and each time I kind of want to do something a little different. So it's easier for us when I know, okay, this is what it's going to look like. But that being said, it's also easier for our viewers when they go, oh, we know what's coming up. We know where to go to get content, that sort of stuff. So that being said, we just opened up, today is Monday, Friday, we launched a Facebook group called Everything East County. So again, inviting the people in from East County. We haven't done any advertising on it, and we have 155 members in it for just over the weekend. Mm-hmm. So the goal is to hit 1,000 by June. To really grow a community atmosphere, not to where we're just pushing information, but to where we can engage a lot more.
And let them post their favorite restaurants. That I think is really going to take off for you. I think it's a smart play.
I think so too. And I think it's going to help us book restaurants that we may have not been able to in the past, that may either be bigger restaurants or maybe a little bit unfamiliar. A lot of them are like, yeah, let's do it. There are some that go, I don't understand. They're waiting for the catch, right?
It's also going to give the community the voice, and now all you have to do is listen, and then that's your content.
And engage. Yeah. I mean, that's what it's all about, right? We're all about building relationships. Talking and not listening is not a relationship.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so if you're an agent out there, which you've never sold real estate. Nope. Before I get into that, actually, how many people now, because you started with Kyle as the first video guy, right, marketing media guy, how many people now are in that department working with you? And
yeah, so it's just right now it's me and another full-time person. So we have two full-time media people. I work on a lot of the distribution right now because as we're building out more strategies for YouTube, we're working on LinkedIn, Instagram, IGTV. So I'm handling a lot of that and kind of the bigger picture stuff where I'm letting Tom kind of hone his skills on some of the content creation.
Great. All right, so if you're an agent out there and you don't have you or a Tom, right? Like it's just you. Where do you start? Do you start with some type of big piece of pillar content? Like I believe, like what's your take? Where do you start to produce video content every single week? Because we both know you need to do that every single week as an agent. Where would you say they should start?
I would say choose your platform. And one of the two I would choose is either Instagram or Facebook. And go Facebook Live or Instagram Live. Start with your cell phone. And I would even take it a step further where not even if they don't have me, if they're an agent starting out and they haven't done video, don't hire me. Like I'm going to tell you straight up, like if someone said, hey, I want to hire you, I've told people that said, hey, can I hire you to do a video? And I said, do Facebook Live first. Because there's a couple reasons. One, your first video is not going to be your best video. And it's just not. You're going to
So
look
true.
at it and go, oh man, I can't believe I wore that. I need to get a haircut. I said this a lot and I don't like, whatever it is. So practice with Facebook Live. It allows you to be a lot more raw. People are going to see it and they're not expecting it to be CNN. They're not expecting it to be, a high quality piece. They just want to make sure they can see you and hear you. So work on Facebook Live, work on your content. And what I told people is I said, do Facebook Live for a while, and the content that really hits, then do a professional video on that one. Because you already know, okay, I typically get 370 views per Facebook Live. Well, I did this one, I got 1,200 views. That's the one that you want to dig in deeper. Kind of deconstruct that. And then I say make a professional video on that, put it on YouTube, put it on Facebook, put it on Instagram, everywhere. But that's where I would start. And until you're getting to the point where you're saying this, doing Facebook Live is preventing me from doing what I want, right? Okay, well, I really want shallow depth of field, or I want a quick hitting video. I want it highly produced with video and titles and that sort of stuff. And you can't do that on your phone anymore. That's when you start hiring out.
Okay. So, and I agree with you.
Good.
Like you've got to, I agree with you. Yes. And you've got to be consistent on it.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, so if it's going to be Facebook Live, have it in your calendar, let it live there every Monday at 11, whatever time, and just repeat over and over and over again.
And that's why we did Santee Saturdays. East County Eats went out every Friday. Things like a Mortgage Monday or a Wellness Wednesday, whatever it is, if you attach it to a day, it's a lot easier to help you stay consistent. Kyle's a big fan of alliteration. That's why everything is Whissel Weekends, East County Eats, right? Everything's alliterized.
Is that a word? Is that a
think
thing?
so.
Tom's fact checking this right now.
That makes
We've
sense,
got Tom
though.
Tool in the house
It
for
makes
those of you
sense. Anyway,
that know the Tool Man.
but yeah, having it. God, now I'm gonna make a. Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Is that a whatever word you use? The Tool Man? No,
yeah.
that's not.
No, it's not. But basically, yeah, putting it on a schedule and being consistent is huge.
Absolutely. So here's another thing you hear all the time is, I don't know what to say. I don't know. You've done 100 episodes of Santee Saturdays.
Mm-hmm.
You've done 70 of East County Eats.
Yep.
Now you're moving on to everything East County.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you're going to run out of content? Because people who haven't even started yet say they don't have enough content. You're sitting on over 200 videos. Do you believe you'll run out?
No. I mean, since I've started, we've done over 1,000 videos, and we haven't even started. I mean, easy things are literally what questions do people ask you all the time? Or what myths? I like debunking myths, right? You have to have 20% down. Basically, literally look at all of the terms that you had to learn. What is contingency? What is an inspection? What is...
Go into your email inbox and look at all the questions you've gotten over the last 365 days and start there. You've gotten a bunch of questions
Absolutely.
from buyers and leads and whoever.
Yeah, and start with the ones that you hear most often. And obviously, if you know Kyle, we're big into tech. We're always adapting new systems. So, I mean, one thing that we do is each step of the process, which I heard you guys you talked with Tom in the last episode he was on, about having things very well explained, right? Because a lot of time, that's very well explained. That's not a good one either. But anyways, a lot of times people will...
That's a word.
It is?
You're on.
Yes, alliterized is a word. But we have our kind of 10-step escrow process for buyers and for sellers. So instead of saying, cool, yeah, your offer got accepted, I'll tell you what happens next later, right? We have an email campaign with all the text that says, okay, step 1 is this, step 2 is this, step 3 is... And we also have video content connected with it as well.
So you don't have to watch the video and you don't have to just read it. You can pick
Exactly.
whichever. That's why I believe in pillar content, because if you have one piece of like this, right? This one podcast every single week, then now you can get the audio version right out of this.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the visual if you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook, and then you can get short bite-sized snort. You like that, Tom?
Snort.
Short bite-sized pieces onto your Instagram and all these different things, and this is a 20-minute episode, right, that you sat down, did one time, and you have all kinds of content for the week.
Yeah, Kyle obviously is doing a lot of speaking across the country. We're doing Bomb tomorrow. Oh, it's tomorrow.
Bombs tomorrow.
That's quick. And I know this is podcast, and I know this will be out later, but if you didn't go to Bomb, you probably missed a lot. But I think the talk he's doing there...
I don't know how we didn't get invited to that.
You didn't get,
I was on the Bomb
this is
influencer,
awkward.
the top 10 video influencer list, and they did not invite me to come and and drop any nuggets. So
Well,
I'm
that's-
disappointed, Bomb.
Yeah, well, that's
I
pretty
knew the
awesome.
event was happening.
Good. And you just decided not to show up?
Well, I'm
You
here.
were just hurt.
I'm
right?
here already.
That's fine.
You know,
I'm
I'm at the T3 Summit.
We're flying out tomorrow morning early. Anyway, one of his big
He's
talks
speaking?
He's speaking, I think, on Wednesday morning.
Yep.
I think he's kicking it off. And I think his talk this time is titled Squeeze, and literally squeezing as much content out of you, or much as you can out of each piece of content. So again, 20-minute episode. The whole thing's going on YouTube, yes?
Yes.
See if we were doing something like that, we do a weekly show called Whissel Weekends. We also do Facebook Live during it, which is also fun. We cut up pieces, put it on Instagram. Are you using IGTV?
A lot. We've got 50 plus IGTVs
Good.
up, something like that.
Yeah, IGTV's huge right now.
Now that they gave you the preview option in your timeline,
Absolutely.
basically my views went up like 15x when they just did the preview.
Yeah. So now that you can actually put it in your feed, and then we're actually working. Have you done anything on LinkedIn?
We do most of our shorter bite-sized pieces of content on LinkedIn, and then distribute audio podcasts through LinkedIn. We post on LinkedIn every day.
Cool. So yeah, I mean, basically you're taking 20 minutes here, and I'm guessing Sam,
So
right?
what this is,
I'm
and
guessing Sam is doing all the work on it.
well, Sam will
You're
do all the
using
editor,
face.
but our writer Vanessa, who's my sister, she will actually take this. She'll write a blog that will definitely go on LinkedIn. All of our written blogs, 100% of them are going on
Now,
LinkedIn
do
right
you
now.
share it or do you create an article?
No, creating a LinkedIn article.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So we're also obviously putting it on to, my blog as well.
Absolutely.
And that link will get shared to other places. But
Yeah. And then you cookie them and create custom audiences, and it's a whole beautiful funnel.
it is. All right. What's a couple things or one last thing leave us with for any agent out there listening that wants to get in video? And then I know you've got a mastermind coming up. Once you let people know if they want, I know there's like only a few seats left, but let people know where they could find that and where they could connect with you personally.
Yes. So we are doing a mastermind, basically taking the last 4 years that Kyle and I have worked together and everything we've done from best practices to checklist and title. I literally built out job descriptions.
It's just going to be you and Kyle
Just Kyle and I, yeah.
Yep.
And we have 20 seats total.
here in San Diego.
Here in San Diego, we rented out a sick beach house in La Jolla.
Wow.
That would be a fun one to have you pronounce. La Jolla.
La Jolla. I can do it.
Okay, good. So we're going to basically have 2 days of nonstop of us sharing, but also a lot of masterminding and literally asking one-on-one questions.
Are you planning on capturing this entire thing and producing content around it?
Yes. I don't know exactly what it's going to look like yet. I don't know if we're just going to do small snippets and do testimonials. But I am going to I wanted to do it, but I can't do both. I just can't. So I'll have Tom there filming a lot of it. And so that is MediaMayorMastermind.com.
I'm not sure. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Where could they DM you on Instagram in case that's not it and they need to find the link?
So honestly, the best place to connect with me is at thewhisselway.com.
Okay.
Because that leads right into our Facebook group where we're in every day working with agents and building relationships there.
And that thewhisselway.com.
Correct.
Awesome. Bryan, really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for joining us.
Excellent.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video all the way to the end. I really appreciate all your engagement, all your comments, and if you like this content, if you want to see more, please, I've got 2 videos linked up here, or hit the subscribe button so that you never miss a video again.